10 months ago, I made a video. It was called Can't Get a Girlfriend, Join the Club. And in that video, I detailed my different experiences. Let me take these experiences with attempting to get women and having difficulty in doing so. And, um, sorry, just kind of trying to get all my thoughts in one. In doing that, I didn't want to get back to the topic of, relationships and the struggle to be in one, but I changed my mind because I feel a sufficient amount of time has passed to where you can kind of consider this a sequel, or I think of it more as a follow up. But it really, just kind of watching it again from the perspective of the person who made it, it brings me back to the topic of cynicism, um, and what that does apparently to impact the person's success rate. So in the grand scheme of things, we always have things that we're not too sure about, that we think might go wrong, might get messed up, might backfire, and usually we have one or two or three things or people that we believe in, that we can honestly say, this is something I think will happen. This is something I know will happen. We can do this, and I can feel that way when it comes to most things I'm familiar with. If I'm writing, if I'm drawing, uh, you know, even with that, I have my occasional periods where it's like, I can't do this. It's just impossible. But that's generally not that often. If something is or has been practiced by me for a long time, I usually have the confidence of thinking I can do it. Now, if it's something new, um, or that I've considered myself to be unsuccessful with, such as the whole dating thing, then surprise, surprise, I'm going to walk into it and feel as if it's pointless, as if it's hopeless. And that feeling was within me back in December when I made that video, and it still lingers to this very day. 10 months later, because I know what is today, the 7th. Okay, October 7th, 2016. The year's almost up. We're about to get to the anniversary of that video in 2 months. You know, that feeling lingers in me because I'm aware that that was how I felt back then, and I've tried, a few different strategies, and you still get the same result. I was convinced for a while that if you just quit approaching them, you'll eventually get approached, and I did. Last month it turned out to be a total bust, where it was kind of a trickery for another type of activity, some old promotional type thing. Like, oh, I'm interested in you. By the way, would you like to buy this, Snicker bar? Um, and so, you get tricked into stuff, and just the whole idea of letting, love find you and seek you out, I think really isn't applicable at this point in time. At least for me, anyway. I don't know about anybody else. Um, but it was something I really wanted to believe. And if I just keep, trying this and practicing this and doing that, it would eventually work out. And it didn't. It did not. So, back to the drawing board. But lo and behold, I contemplate, getting back into the approaching thing. And I realize when kind of interacting with a woman a while back, must be last month or so, that there is a recurring theme aside from getting rejected, but it's the idea that, and this has been present in all the ones this year, and that's about three, four. So it's a smaller number than last year because I just gave up on any of them. But yeah, it's been present, in a smaller capacity, um, but nonetheless still there, where if I see some woman and I, find her attractive, and if it's an environment that isn't, so basically I'll be more inclined to approach if, I think that person won't appear again. So if I go to a supermarket and there's this person over there, I might approach them because, oh, I might never see them again, um, and that's that. But whenever I do it or think of doing it, at least most of the time, I back myself out of it because I have this thing going on back here. Just my mind playing its, negative game that it won't make any difference. That it will, whichever woman, let's say, gives me a number or chooses to speak to me when I speak to them, it will end up exactly as it has in the past in a way that makes me further my disappointment, more convinced that it's not going to change. You might as well save yourself the disappointment and just um, you know stay out of even trying. And it's a view that I'm aware isn't the best one to have, but I think it has saved me um, some of the heartache I experienced, I guess, earlier on, 2, 3, 4 years ago, just with multiple women I would approach. And really, there's a part of me that gets frustrated that I even think about dating still. Because I can't, like, people don't have control over their sexuality. Nobody just wakes up one day and, oh, I'm straight, oh, I'm gay. They get into this, their sexuality, however it's determined, and they're pretty much just with it. I mean, you can't just turn it off and on or flip to something else. You can't be something that you're not. And I'm not gay. I'm still going to have attraction to women. But I've decided that, or I decided in the past, the best way to go about it was to just quit, because you know how it's going to turn out. You know that there's going to be something about you that, the given woman does not like, and she'll, cut you off right there, and you're back to the drawing board. It's been that way for multiple years now. Um, even with this year where it was kind of me not really directly seeking out, women in the most conventional ways. It still is always just that one pattern. And it's crazy to me because, a lot of times they'll say, oh, you shouldn't go after somebody over what they look like. Uh, Appearance isn't the main thing. Well, you know, why is it so hard to find someone that, you are. A good example would be found someone about last month had very, very similar interests to me. I mean, we just if I spoke to her about that, she would write me back or go in detail about it, and it was good. Really, the only thing I didn't like about her was that if I try to talk to her about some other topic, she just kind of goes and just deviates away from whatever. And that one just ended abruptly. Just stopped messaging me, stopped responding, just completely disappeared. I was like, all right, well, on to the next one. And another one, has similar interest to me and does not reciprocate interest. So, it's again, it's that whole thing of I don't know what all is wanted from the opposite sex. I don't know. I honestly, at this point, don't. Because I have tried to, play the whole confident type thing, um, and present myself as someone who, has the demeanor of just, oh yeah, I can do it. I don't need to listen to that person. Whatever, man. That type of just macho type thing. Um, and right now I'm tripping on my words, but it didn't work because like I said in that video before, it's an act. It's not real. It is a mask that I'm wearing in my attempt to, spur your interest. And it's a mask I'm willing to admit that I wear because I don't believe there's any point in having that facade still be, a secret. Um, so, with that out of the way, you also go into the fact that I've also tried changing, where I meet them at. I used to meet them at school, then it was around at, different places. Still same scenario. So, and then what gets on my nerves is that if I, add this to a list of unsuccessful parts of my life, and, you express some type of depression about it, you'll always have someone who will equate you to, the what's his name, the guy that shot up the college 2 years ago, and it irritates the hell out of me because first of all, I would, if anyone, if I take any life, it would be my own, um, and that's kind of part of the reason. A lot of these guys have a thing of oh, women owe you this, women owe you that. I don't think women owe me anything. I was brought into the world by a woman who could have chosen to abort me, even though I didn't choose to be born to begin with. And I really don't. I'm not. Yeah, you get frustrated, you get annoyed, but you get over it. It's not the end of the world because one girl rejected you. I don't get fixated on a certain group of women or a certain woman in general. It doesn't happen. Not well, it used to, but it's gone at this point. And I feel as if a part of me is that I kind of like to logically break things down. So, like, okay, well, maybe this is the reason because of this and this. So I just concluded after, having it rejected over and over and over again, it's you. You're the cause. You're the reason. You suck. You're crap. And that doesn't equate to me saying, oh, I've got to go and commit, genocide. No, it equates to me saying, okay, well, I'm a piece of crap and just going into the whole, suicidal lane. Um, you know, and that's that. And it will be handled appropriately with, me trying to find something to uplift myself later on. But the point is, I don't have, like, if I get mad in that moment, I still will get over it because there's so many of them. And even if one of them says no, you might meet another one the next day. Who knows? It's just the guy, was it Roger, I think, was stupid because of the fact that he thought they owed him something when they didn't. And, took the lives of people who, um, you know, deserved to live and didn't do anything to die. And all because of him not getting dates, which is a ridiculous notion and almost laughable word, not real. But the point is, you have people who may have similar circumstances, but they have different personalities and ways of thinking. I fully believe my way of thinking, of putting myself down and saying, I'm the garbage, I'm the opposite of being successful when it comes to women because I'm me and I just suck. I believe that's a better way of looking at it than saying, "Oh, all the women are crazy. Oh, they're all this, they're all that." Because I don't like to generalize, and I genuinely believe that at the end of the day, the only person who stays consistent is me. And if the same result is happening over and over again, it's because of me. It's not because of some woman rejecting me. Uh, they probably weren't even aware of the other one. So I don't think it's some collaborative effort to just down me, but it definitely when it gets to me, I just think it's me, and I that is why I will always hold on to that belief because I believe it is the way to logically look at things. I'm the one who's approaching them. I'm the one who is getting rejected. They're not. So yeah, I'm going to still see me as the crappier person. Um, on I guess a final note, there really is not much else to dissect, but to sort of um, break down, and that is this notion that if you go to and I mentioned in the other video, if you go to school and you excel, you'll meet somebody, and I really think, and this is just my prediction, I'm going to finish college, go wherever I go, you know, and throughout the several years I'll be there, I fully believe it will entirely just be me studying and, not dating like that for that entire time or having the same level of, not being successful with it. And that's not, I know people will say that's my cynicism kicking in, but I'm going off of the fact that that was the case for much of high school and middle school, and I don't see it changing. But I don't let it full. And this is again something else I'm trying to get at. I don't let it fully get me down to where, oh, I got to put a noose over my head or, you know, um, jump off a bridge. No, because there are more things to life than just having one night stands and getting married. And even though that's something the latter, not the former, even though the latter is something I want to do, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I can't will somebody into something they don't want to do. And for that reason, I just go about my days and try to do things that are entirely dependent on me and focus on myself. Because if I don't, who will? Um, yeah, so there's really not much else to say other than it for all the males, at least this is my recommendation. Try different places. Um, and if it doesn't work that way, then because with me, I've given up. I don't believe it'll happen. So I think they try different places. They try, different techniques, which is what I was going with for a while. Uh, that's pretty much my argument. I really can't give the best advice other than to just try to take your mind off of it with something else because it's not worth it. It's not worth being depressed about and wanting to just be vaporized from this world over, as with the people who commit suicide over something like this. Are known to exist for. So yeah, I just keep trying to move on and see what happens. Thank you for watching and have a good day.